Hey guys, just gonna do a quick review of the Ruger Super Redhawk. This one's chambered in 454 Casull and 45 long Colt. Gives you a lot of power with that 454. That's good for, whatever you want it for. Anything from deer and hog up to elk and even a little bit of bear. Um, sure is a hefty little thing. Solid piece of hardware there. I think it's weighing in at about three and a quarter pounds. Got a 6-shot there. Yeah, unlike the 44 Magnum version of the same gun, it does not have the cylinder flutes there. A little bit of added strength. It's got a triple lockup cylinder. This is obviously a 7.5-inch barrel. Nice little gun though. Got these nice Hogue grips. It's got a bit of a soft spot right there in the palm. Well, I guess that'd be your webbing. Give you a little bit more recoil reduction there. It's not that bad to shoot. When I was considering buying these, a lot of people, it seemed like online and who I talked to in person, were saying it just way too wicked of a round, too much recoil, just an insane gun. Don't even bother, just get a 44 mag. Gotta say though, that has not been the case with me. When I first went to look at one of these, I went to the local gun store owner and went to the local gun store here where I live, and the owner has a 454, and it's a Freedom Arms Model 83, and he let me test shoot that thing just so I could get a feel for it, because I was, worried about the recoil and all that, and he said wasn't really much to worry about, and he let me shoot some of his hand loads. I shot a 230 and some 240 grains, which actually you feel that 10 grain difference in the 240 and the 230, but still wasn't bad. And that's, of course, with wood grips. It doesn't have these nice cushioned Hogue grips like these Rugers and then the Taurus Raging Judge have, which definitely helped tame down the recoil. So far through mine, the hottest I've put through is just factory Federal Fusion 260 grains. Obviously not a super high, super hot load. I think they're pushing about 1350 feet per second and about 1400 foot-pounds. So it's still up there with a higher loaded 44 mag, but it's, nothing compared to what this thing actually has the potential of. Hopefully I'm gonna be shooting some 300 grain Hornady XTPs here in the next week or so, and maybe I'll get a review and a video on that, kind of show some accuracy and firing. But really, I've had a couple of nephews try this thing out, brother-in-law, and some of the people who have shot this thing were pretty small built guys, pushing about 130 pounds soaking wet, and they were able to handle this thing just fine. So the recoil's not bad. Accuracy, well, it's got these sights here. Got adjustable rear sight with the front orange painted ramp sight, which a lot of people, I don't know, it seems like either you love it or you hate it. It's a gray area. Personally, I don't have a problem with it. Works fine for me. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice to have the fiber optic one that they're putting on a lot of the GP100s and SP101s, but hey, what do you do? It works. It's very accurate. My brother-in-law's got a Smith & Wesson XVR 460 with a 6-inch barrel. And we did a little testing with these things, nothing extreme. We just set up targets at 50, 60, and 70 yards. And in our experience, out of the 45 Colt, 454, and 460, the 454 was actually the most accurate. And we were shooting the same weight bullets. The 460 and the 454 were both shooting 260 grains. Same energy. The 460 was just moving the bullet about 200 feet per second faster than the 454. But we noticed that the 454 was actually the more accurate of the three cartridges, and the Redhawk was more accurate than the Smith & Wesson. He was all over the place at 50 yards. He was, left, high, right, low. This thing, I would hit about 5 out of 6 shots at 50 yards, and up to 70 yards, I was hitting about 4 out of 6 shots. We were just shooting soda cans, water bottles, little stuff like that, so pretty good. The 45 Colt was obviously the least accurate of the rounds. Of course, we're just shooting soft lead point. Winchester, I believe it is, just some cheap cowboy load. But yeah, notice the 454 seems to be more accurate than the 460, and in this gun specifically, more accurate than the Smith & Wesson, and built just a heck of a lot sturdier than the Smith & Wesson. Ruger proofs these cylinders to 92,000 CUP. Even though the 460 and the 454 Casull rounds are both semi-spec'd at 65,000, and the hottest you're really going to find, the majority of your factory ammo is only going to push about 55. Ruger proofs these to 92,000 PSI. When they developed this gun, they put 300 rounds at 92,000 PSI through it and had no damage to the cylinder, the barrel, nothing. And every one of these guns you buy has a full cylinder of those ultra super magnum hot loads fired through it before they even ship it to you. Smith & Wesson, from what I understand, attempted this, and their cylinders began bulging and cracking, so they abandoned it, and they only test their guns to 70,000 PSI, allegedly. I don't know for sure, that's just kind of what I've heard and read, and, you know, take it for what it's worth. You're not paying a whole lot for it, so don't expect too much out of my opinion. Not really an opinion, but anyway, again, this comes with a couple of rings. I don't have the rings with me, they're in the box, which is down in the basement, but it comes with 2 scope rings. Obviously this one's going to be a little bit shorter than this one, so you can make it, yeah, nice and level. I don't believe I'm going to put a scope on it though, but kind of from what I understand chatting with people, if you do go with a scope, you don't really need more than a 2-power scope. I mean, hey, do whatever you want, but it seems like that's the general consensus. Anyway, accurate gun, amazing to shoot. Single action is just crisp, clean. It's just right there. Typical Ruger single action trigger. It's amazing. Double action, still pretty lengthy and, you know, got a long, heavy pull, but actually, to me, it feels crisper and cleaner than that of my 357 GP100. That thing's double action almost seems to be worse than the one on this one, which I figured being a bigger, heavier gun, this would actually have a worse double action trigger, but the trigger on this gun is fantastic. Going to the quality, I'm going to compare it again to the 460 Smith & Wesson. I've never really had the opportunity to get my hands on a Raging Bull. I have owned several Taurus revolvers though. I had a 44 Tracker and a model, I think it was the 605 or the 650. I get those messed up. I think it was the 605, the little 2-inch stubby 357 Magnum. Wasn't super impressed with the Tauruses, but anyway, comparing this to a Smith & Wesson 460, which I would call a pretty close competitor, I could be biased because I own this gun for a reason. Kind of a Ruger fan, but I do appreciate Smith & Wesson, although in my opinion, I feel like they're a little more just the flashy, fancy, they look good, they put more time and energy into making their guns look and feel good, and less about the durability, where Ruger doesn't really give a crap if the gun looks good or if it's ugly or heavy or bulky. You know, the machining might not be as nice as Smith's, they might have a nicer finish, less burrs, you know, grounded off edges, but the Rugers are tough. They are built like a brick shithouse. Yeah, just holding the 460 and then holding this thing in the other hand, to me it honestly felt like holding a chunk of aluminum versus a chunk of iron. I mean, it was just a world apart. This thing honestly felt as heavy, which I know it's not, but just the way you feel it, you kind of get that feeling when you're holding it that it's solid, it's sturdier. There's less cylinder play. I mean, the cylinder's locked up in there nice and tight. A lot better than the Smith & Wesson. I mean, there is very little cylinder play in that. It's nothing compared to a Freedom Arms, but I think it's better than the Smith & Wessons. And I'm sure it's better than the Raging Bulls. I mean, I know a lot of people are probably going to get, yeah, but come on, guys. It's Taurus. It's Brazilian. This is American. Ruger, really. There's just no comparison. And just look at that bore. Oh man, that is a big hole. 45 caliber. Big old sucker. Hi. yeah, anyway, that's about all I've got to say for this thing. Hopefully I'll be able to get some videos shooting it, do a little accuracy comparison. I don't know, but as far as just a review, I think that's about all I've got for you. Sorry for the shadows and whatnot. I'm taking this on a iPhone because I have no idea how to even YouTube. Amazing gun, 100% reliable, powerhouse. Honestly, less painful to shoot than a Taurus Tracker 44 Magnum. I will say that. I honestly think it's more enjoyable to shoot. This is now my all-time favorite caliber and my all-time favorite handgun. And my favorite configuration. The 7.5-inch barrel, amazing. I considered getting the 5-inch barrel, but they were just absolutely hideous, and I got a pretty good deal on this thing. I got it, well, I bought it from Bud's, but I found it on Sportsman's Outdoor Superstore with the 7.5-inch barrel here for, I believe, $820. Wow. My local gun store is the cheapest I could find. It was $1,050. $820. They were out of stock though, but Bud's gun shop let me price match it down to $870. They went down to $840 at one point in time, but I waited too long, didn't order the gun for about another couple weeks, and when I went to actually order the gun, they would only price match down to $870. But still, price match $870 from Bud's. Then yeah, $25 for a transfer fee. It was kind of a pain. If you order from Bud's, I paid with the ACH, the electric check, and that was stupid. You save 3% off your total price value, but you have to wait about 10 to 12 days to get your gun, which was an eternity. Honestly, next time I'll pay the 3% difference and just pay with a credit card and get the gun within 4 days. No, Bud's isn't paying me to promote them. Either is Ruger, obviously. I'm a nobody. So, yeah, take it for what it's worth. Ruger Super Redhawk, 454 Casull.